Hi, I'm Luna.
And I'm Mercury.
Welcome to Only Movies in the Building.
And in this episode, we're going to go over our favorite movies, shows, and most importantly, Twilight.
Uh-huh.
The most important, the most greatest, the best part of cinema.
Debatable.
What's the debate? If it's really good or really amazing?
Neither.
So, really perfect or really, really perfect?
All right, let's move on. Where shall we begin? The boring part first. Mercury, please introduce yourself.
Do I have to?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mercury. I like Twilight.
I can tell that you make it a personality.
Did I say I like Twilight?
Yeah, quite a few times actually.
No.
Well, aside from Twilight, what other movies do you like?
I feel like any Christopher Nolan movie is amazing. Inception, Oppenheimer, the guy does not miss. The way he's like portrayed Batman has genuinely changed like cinema, I feel like. Where superheroes have gone from this almost goofy-esque to now being mature and dark and like gritty, which I absolutely love. And it's paved the way for my favorite actor, Robert Pattinson, no reason, to become Batman.
Yeah, too bad that unfortunately we won't be getting him in as many projects as we would have liked, but I can definitely agree with your opinion.
The Twilight one?
Also heard you like Inception.
I do. Again, another Christopher Nolan movie. I think just the way he portrays time is absolutely amazing. And that little totem spinny thing, I actually have one. Every single day I spin it to see if I'm in a dream or not, and I'm not in a dream, sadly.
I feel like once you get into something, you tend to just buy all the merch because you just want to basically get inside that world.
hmm
And unfortunately, I don't have the finance for that, so I'm unable to do so.
Honestly, I feel like being a fan is more important than how much merchandise you have.
Yeah, to be fair, but I also do like having little reminders in about my favorite movies.
Fair enough. I have just a shelf of like, I don't want to say crap, but a shelf of crap of stuff from different movies. Okay, so what is a few of your favorite movies?
Where do I start? Oh, I mean, obviously that's a very general question, but I'll go with Fantastic Beasts as one of them. I know that it gets quite a bad rep from Harry Potter fans, but I personally loved it. I love the first film especially because, how should I say this? There's so much more to the magical world of Harry Potter than just, wizards and witches. And like, I also liked looking at the magical creatures side of it, and I thought they just did a wonderful job. And plus, I wanted to see more about Dumbledore, so I really loved it. And also, I have a Newt Scamander plushie to prove it as well.
I wonder who got you that plushie. Maybe some co-host of a podcast?
Yeah, very good question.
With Fantastic Beasts, it genuinely, I much, much prefer like young Dumbledore because I feel like he's inexperienced, which is so cool seeing like this wise guy who like knows everything make mistakes. There's just something like cool about that, in my opinion.
So I think that version of Dumbledore, I feel like he's so much more sneaky, and I love that. He always seemed to me like to be a mischievous guy. He's just a silly goose.
And also just Nifflers in Fantastic Beasts. Do I need to say more?
The cutest things ever. Oh my god.
Exactly.
I have a plushie again to prove it.
I wonder who got you that as well.
Hmm.
Certain co-hosts from certain podcasts that we may or may not be recording right now.
Also, not just movies, but I also really enjoy animated shows, anime and stuff like that. I'm not a weeb. No one should call me that. I do really enjoy Hikyo. Aside from, the over dramatic battles, it really does pull at your heartstrings sometimes. And I think it's just really well done, especially the early seasons. They were just amazingly done. And then after that, the game became way too complicated in some areas, but I still enjoy it to this day.
Okay, quick question. Why did we even start this podcast to begin with? And no, that's not me questioning why we're doing this. This is what you're thinking as the audience, I'm assuming.
Well, obviously, it's because we love movies. I mean, if I didn't enjoy movies, I would not have taken time out of my day to do this podcast. I mean, I love movies. I talk about it all the time. I argue about them. So I thought, why not record it?
And also, we just really want the money from the podcast and the fame and the fortune and all of that.
Shush, 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 they don't need to know that.
Oh, is this one of those things I cut out as well?
Yeah,
Oh,
very much
okay.
so.
Remind me to. Sorry, do I cut that out along with the moment while I was just talking bad about Twilight?
But yeah, each episode will cover a different film, either like worst movies, overhyped films, or ones that others kind of hate, but I secretly enjoy them.
I think the word there is guilty pleasure.
Yeah, that, basically that. But yeah, we'll just answer any dumb movie related questions. And sometimes we'll just argue for an hour straight. But that's how our podcasts are. There's nothing else to say about that. But yeah, sometimes I will walk out mid recording. Mercury says anything related to Twilight.
So Twilight's genuinely a masterpiece. Robert Pat. Hello? Anyone there? Hello?
Okay, so aside from the few movies that we talked about, we also obviously share movies and shows that we, I guess, bonded over.
Hmm.
So where should we start? The one that sounds the most similar, Only Murders in the Building, of course.
I mean, it sounds like we completely just ripped their name off and made a podcast. I mean,
Except we didn't, and this was totally original.
exactly. We would never copy any of these names. By the way, we do have a second podcast coming out called Twilight, and it's featuring a love story between a girl and a vampire and a wolf.
With the sparkling skin as well.
And the wolves are always shirtless because that makes sense.
Yep. One thing I'd say that I love about Only Murders in the Building is just how they're all kind of different. Like, obviously, it's good to have like shared interests and stuff like that, but they all just have such different personalities, but they all kind of blend together really well. And obviously, they're like smart for the most part. They end up doing quite a few stupid things, but they're all quite smart. But obviously, they get brought down by life, which is very realistic. They pick themselves up again. They just keep on solving murders because for some reason it's in the same building every single time.
Why don't they just like move out?
That's a very good question. To be fair, it's not cheap, so I think that's one of the main reasons.
True, literally the latest season, Mabel was struggling with rent.
Yeah, so there you go. That was your question answered.
There you go, I guess we're stuck in the building constantly. Well, at least the podcast can continue.
Also, we, as we mentioned before, enjoy the amazing world of Harry Potter. I may not have exactly grown up with it, but I still share the love. Prison of Azkaban, love you to this day.
I grew up with the films, and there was just something so magical, like watching each of them. I watched them when they were on TV, so like every, I believe, either Saturday or Sunday, I would sit down and just watch them on TV, and it was just so fascinating. I remember watching the first film and like 20 minutes in, this is okay, it's not that good, and by the end of it, my eyes were glued to the screen. Like it was the first time I truly like fall in love with the world, and like it became a thing for me every week to watch those films until I watched all of them.
I'd say I was a mix of both. Like in the beginning, I was like, oh, this is pretty alright. And I was like, wow, these special effects really advanced for back then. Towards the end, I was just like, yeah, I kind of lost interest. But overall, I actually really enjoyed the movies. So I'll give them that. The actors did an amazing job. So I gotta give it to them. They've really formed this legacy.
Another thing I personally really, really like, but I know Luna likes, but not as the same level as me, is Avatar. I genuinely love the world James Cameron has created, and both the movies are excellent, and I absolutely love them. And I think I've watched them a good 3 times, both of them.
Excuse you. First of all, I introduced you to Avatar and I told you consistently to watch the movies because you're really missing out. But yeah, no, to be fair, I do actually really enjoy it and I'm really glad that I introduced you to it
Mhm.
because, yeah, Avatar is amazing. Not just like the special effects, but the story really gripped me from the very beginning and that doesn't really happen too often. So yeah, I'm just a huge fan.
I think what makes it so amazing to me is the visual effects in the sense of like what they were able to create. Like the world of Pandora is just so beautiful. I wish I could be there.
Yeah, from what I remember, what I liked a lot about the Avatar films as well was just nature itself, it was just out of this world. And I think the inspiration for it was Indonesia, Thailand, and those kind of places. And it just looks stunning, in my opinion, absolutely stunning. Yeah, I appreciate every single detail.
I actually did not know it was based off of Thailand and Indonesia. And like the way James Cameron just takes inspiration from, I guess, real world things to create Avatar, like with the way of water and like all the new sea creatures. It's just so amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. I'm honestly really looking forward to how the story develops as we're getting closer to basically another war, but how everyone basically is going to join in, fight against the evil humans, because honestly, it's kind of true. It is kind of true. We do cause a lot of harm.
Another thing we both absolutely love is the TV show Friends. It's just hilarious. Like I'll put on an episode and I'll just die of laughter from like how funny like the jokes and gags are. And there's nothing like it to me. Like I'm a big fan of The Office, but it just does not make me laugh the same way, even though I do prefer The Office.
Honestly, I'm again really happy that I introduced you to it. I think I've introduced you to so many TV shows and stuff, but yeah, at least it gives us a lot more to talk about.
Exactly.
I've technically grown up with Friends. I used to watch it all the time, and the jokes still make me laugh all the time. And what I love about it is I'll always forget at least a couple of episodes, and I'll always forget that they've completely existed. Like they're just erased from my memory. And then when I rewatch Friends, it's just like, wow, that was in Friends.
I also absolutely love the amount of just guest stars they were able to get onto that show. And another thing is just it's fascinating how that was like the biggest show on television.
Yeah, like a good 10 years. Like that's crazy. And they're still making tons of money to this day. Like,
And also,
yeah.
I don't think we can talk about Friends without paying respect to our dear friend Matthew Perry.
Yeah, R.I.P. He was seriously one of the funniest guys on the show. Like,
hmm
genuinely, he was my favorite character. I'll say this.
Same. R.I.P.
And also, he just had like this amazing growth. Like, I feel like he was a really immature guy in the beginning. I mean, obviously, 20s and stuff like that, you're trying to figure life out. But his parents were divorced, and how should I say, he was a bit of a mess, to be honest, when it came to women. But he ended up having kids as well. So that's like amazing, honestly. Anyways, we also really loved The Mandalorian.
hmm
We were absolutely there when there was the whole hype with it. Loved the journey from the very first episode. I mean, not just because Grogu is absolutely adorable. Din Djarin, like, he's not just like really cool, but it's kind of like watching a single parent trying to like protect their child, but having like no idea what to do. And I'm just like, I loved that.
I think another really good part about The Mandalorian is just Pedro Pascal. The guy is perfect.
He really brought the character to life, especially with that finale. It was just like tear jerking. I loved it.
And also, just his bedroom voice? Do I need to say more? How is that guy not married?
Well, each to their own, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of weird that you mentioned that, but I'll let it slide past.
I mean, I'm prepared to marry him.
Anyways, moving on to Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh, do I love this show.
And this is a show I found all by myself and watched all by myself, and no one
Yeah,
introduced it to me.
you were totally not pushed by me again to watch it.
Nope. Okay, this is a challenge. What have you not pushed me to watch?
Honestly, it'd be very hard for me to say exactly what you've watched by yourself. But I don't mind it, to be honest. I do love giving recommendations.
And I love taking them. That sounds wrong.
I do love how it's not the typical like dry. It's like it has moments of dry humor, but it also just like it literally just has my sense of humor. Like I love it. It also does a really good job of like highlighting key issues in society today,
hmm
especially like in terms of like the police force. They just do a really good job. Again, we watched the whole crew grow up basically, and Jake finally somewhat maturing.
I think the thing about these sitcoms is it's always like a guy maturing from being like jokey to like sitting down, getting a wife, and just enjoying his life. And I think that's beautiful because I feel like that's like the end goal.
Yeah, I feel like for a lot of people, not everyone, obviously, it's kind of what they wish for. And I think it's just really nice for people who haven't run in the most stable environment to just, finally enjoying the comfort of proper family. I'm very jealous of Jake because I'm honestly hoping for that.
I'm hoping for that with Pedro Pascal or Margot Robbie. I'll take either.
Yeah, there you go again.
Or just any of the Twilight films. I'll marry one of the DVDs.
Oh, okay, because I thought it's really weird to marry 2D men. I mean, I love 2D men, I wouldn't go that far. And now you're saying you're gonna marry a DVD. That's a step taken a bit too far.
It's of Twilight.
Yeah,
Twilight.
still weird. Again, we also enjoy different like other shows that are a bit more morbid and like funny, a good mix, like The Umbrella Academy. I really enjoyed season 3. Yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind, but I honestly loved it. It was very interesting to see how life would have been like for each of them.
I think what I loved most about that season was seeing the other Umbrella Academy. They were certainly a group of people.
Oh yeah, they were definitely something. Also, I don't know why, but I feel like the Sparrow Academy, it was just, I don't know, they rubbed me the wrong way at certain points.
I don't blame you.
Overall, they weren't half bad. I'll say they acted like jerks half the time.
Fair enough. This is one beautiful mood board, all my favorite things, and my love of Twilight, and this is amazing. Okay, I should start with the guy I have a love heart over. So his name is Thrawn, he's from Star Wars. I love the guy. I don't know what to say. He's amazing. He was in the TV show Rebels, and from like that TV show, I absolutely just fell in love with him. He is one of my favorite villains of all time. He is just amazing, and his voice is perfect, and his soundtrack, and just everything about him is perfect. I also absolutely love The Simpsons. I don't talk about it a lot, but I've seen like every single episode and the film a couple of times now. I grew up watching it. I probably should not be saying that, but oh well. It is just such a funny TV show to me, and I can't believe it's been going on for so long. And if people are gonna hate me for this, but I am a fan of modern Simpsons. Sorry, not sorry. Both the Glass Onion movies are absolutely amazing. Again, just another secret thing I like. I feel like Daniel Craig is much better suited as a detective rather than James Bond. I just love the movies and like the way Glass Onion played clips and then like you'd see it again and then you have like totally new meaning behind it was just absolutely fascinating as well. And it's stuff I didn't pick up on when they showed it the first time as well. So again, just brilliant movie making. If only the director could do better Star Wars stuff.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
Also, I have the company Apple here because it's the best company in the world. It's perfect. Their phones are brilliant. If you're curious what the difference between the latest iPhone is and the old one, it's the new ones are new, so it's different and it's more expensive.
Yeah, because that's how things work when it comes to Apple.
Oh, so Margot Robbie's here. No reason. I just she's just there.
Simp. Anyways, moving on to my interests, which are debatably better. Actually,
Debatably.
I'm not allowing anyone to debate my views, ideas. You can't change my mind. Things that I enjoy, I will go through quickly through them. Again, as I said before, I absolutely love Fantastic Beasts. That's the first check. Second of all, absolutely love the Spider-Man movies, especially the first generation ones. Bully Maguire, still one of my favorites.
I also absolutely love the original Spider-Man movies as well. They have a certain charm to them I feel like Andrew Garfield's and Tom Holland's could never achieve. I feel like Tobey Maguire was the perfect just Spider-Man full stop. He is the best Spider-Man, but not my favorite.
I think for each Spider-Man, there was definitely like strong points about each of them. One complaint I will always have is just the whole plot line with Mary Jane, like with MJ and stuff like that. It was just a bit too, it was messy to say the least. But that's for another time. But moving on, absolutely loved Bumblebee. I mean, I just love the Transformers franchise in general. I think, especially the early movies. Like, I know everyone basically loves the first movie. I'm gonna have to be one of those boring people that also enjoyed the first movie as well. But yeah, I absolutely enjoyed every minute watching the movies. Specifically, the movie Bumblebee. I love how his behavior basically reminds me of me. He's a bit of a sassy teenager. This one, he actually is like such a cutie.
Hmm.
I can't believe I'm saying this about basically a humanoid car, but he does act cute. But moving on, I absolutely love Teen Titans. My goodness, I loved this show. I used to watch it all the time. I mean, I didn't watch it obviously whilst it was airing because if I remember correctly, I wasn't even born. So obviously, I used to watch it on like reruns and YouTube. But yeah, on like Teen Titans Go, they didn't make it into a whole bleeding joke. They gave like each character basically an arc to develop and stuff like that, and I absolutely loved it. Just lots of love to Dick Grayson. I absolutely love his character. Like he's just amazing. So love him even more as Nightwing. You know, that's another story to tell. And there's so many other movies and TV shows that I absolutely love. I mean, The Big Bang Theory again. I love how I understand the jokes nowadays.
The last science related thing I understood was Oppenheimer, and that was I barely understood that.
With the Big Bang Theory, it's just like it does have quite a bit of dry humor, but it's just like each of them have like their own humor, if you get what I mean. Sheldon is just funny because he tries to act serious, but how should I say, most people don't take him seriously. Socially, he's still not there. We know has always been the case in young Sheldon. Also, lots of love to Venom. I watched the last current movie. I absolutely loved it. I just think Tom Hardy does an amazing job. Just like trying to like whenever he interacts with Venom, even though we all know there's like CGI and stuff like that, I mean, it'd be a bit freaky if Venom was an actual living being. I mean, who knows?
Wait, what? That was all CGI?
I mean, I'd hope so because I'd be moving to Mars by now.
I'd rather move to the planet Mercury.
Right.
You know, they actually named the planet Mercury after me.
Oh, did they?
True story.
And I think I didn't know that because it's not true, but you know, we can argue about it later.
It's a true story. I don't want to hear anything else.
So again, I love The Great Gatsby. Like, I know there's some people who are like, why on earth would you like that kind of movie? It's just about some rich guy who kind of is obsessed with this rich girl. But it's kind of like this push and pull of basically someone moving on and you're just kind of like stuck in time and just like the absolute heartbreak that brings to someone and how it basically can cause someone's life to fall apart if that kind of love is strong enough. It really does show how some people are really shallow. Like they'll just kind of use you for all the laughs and stuff like that. You know, you tend to have a good time with them, but in the end, you'll only ever have a few people who you can call your true friends. And that one scene, like with Gatsby's funeral, it broke my heart. That basically there was no one there. Like everyone just wanted to like take pictures and like, oh my god, Mr. Gatsby's dead and stuff. It genuinely broke my heart.
Don't worry, you're a true friend to me, Luna.
Yeah, totally. I'll always be there for you.
Aww.
So lots of love to Studio Ghibli. That's not how you pronounce it, but it's easier for me. Specifically, Howl's Moving Castle. I can't count how many times I've rewatched that film. It's just, again, beautiful story. Just accepting yourself and not trying to conform to beauty standards and just like going to love yourself. And I totally love that. Yeah, it's just a beautiful story in general. Like they always hit the right marks when it comes to a short story should be about. Also enjoyed Wally, Happy Feet, Wonder Woman. That's like a really wide range of stuff that I've enjoyed over the years. But some of my newer interests, obviously TGCF and all that, and Modao Zushi. You know, sending all the love to the author because it's just genuinely there's such amazing stories like really dig deep into just again accepting yourself, like all that love and stuff like that. I just love it. There's quite a bit of trauma involved, but it's overshadowed by just the amount of love and passion and devotion that I strive to have in the future. But you know, I think we've said way too many questionable things for episode one.
Too many or not enough?
Enough.
As in, like, we've said not enough or we've said enough?
Like enough.
So, not enough?
All right, I think we should tell our audience what's gonna be coming up next.
So, the next thing we're going to be talking about is new movies coming up for the next few years, which will be interesting because I guess we can make a few predictions of a few of the films if we want to, because a lot of stuff is now being kept behind closed doors because more and more stuff is leaking. By the way, if you do have leaks for the Mandalorian film, message me. I'll put my email up.
Yeah, we definitely need to know, you know, all that good stuff, because otherwise, how would we be able to pump out more content?
Exactly, because we're all about the content, the money, the fame, the enjoyment, the fun, and the passion of this podcast.
Silly.
Artistic integrity or whatever they say. I don't know.
I think that was a pretty good wrap up of how this podcast is gonna turn out.
Except there'll be way more Twilight.
Yeah, see you next episode.
Wait, there won't be more Twilight?
See you next episode.